Hey, my name is James, and for my BCM313 narrative presentation, I interviewed Sydney-based digital journalist and producer at The Australian, Adrian McMurray. Adrian has worked for NRL.com and is currently at The Australian, completing more of a senior role in the digital sector of the company. Adrian has been a mentor of mine since starting my degree in 2019, assisting me with a few sample interviews over both journalism and media and communication subjects. Adrian has worked as a sports journalist for a while now and has inspired me to create and write myself in the past semester, creating sports-based content and coming out of my shell in a way. However, Adrian didn't always know what he wanted to do. Much like myself, Adrian enjoyed watching and playing sports as a kid and wanted to find something coming out of high school to study which incorporated sports in any way. Core to BCM313, we have delved into the value of storytelling when communicating. Within storytelling, the ability to recollect and remember can summon a plethora of experiences and times in your life that may have been hidden. However, when summoned can bring value to someone else within your circle. Adrian summoned a memory of his time in New Zealand and recollected to a time where he knew that he wanted to work in the media industry. A moment that held so much more value than originally thought, as it made me reflect to times in which I felt strongly about sports and sports media.
When I finished school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I always, I was lucky enough, went to school in New Zealand for a couple of years, and they had a TV studio in the school, which was amazing. Very, very lucky to have had that growing up. And I always just had great fun doing that and seeing the various roles and that sort of thing.
Before starting a university degree, you're told to research and find a degree that you're passionate about and see yourself doing in the future. Choosing an occupation post-university which Adrian was truly passionate about was key in his journey. As mentioned before, an avid watcher and player of sports, Adrian had to move into the sports media sector as that was where his passion lied. Adrian started blogging about sports, similar to what I have recently started to add to his portfolio.
Newspapers or anything, I just thought I'll just start my own blog and just publish my own stuff there. And they sort of looked at the blog and they thought, oh yeah, this I might need a bit of work, but there's something they can work with there, and I kind of know what I'm talking about.
He enjoyed doing this, and in finally finding something that he was passionate about, he opted to pursue sports journalism. A key learning and teaching was the need to pursue a career in which you can enjoy a 9-to-5 shift and not slump to a mediocre job in which you had no interest in.
Especially when you find an area that you love, you're passionate about. Yeah. It really, you come to work and it's not like a job and you think, oh no, I've got a 9-to-5 again. Here we go. It's you never know what the day's going to throw at you. Yeah. That's why I love working in digital as well. There's such a broad remit here. We're across so much, sport, business, technology, national affairs, crime, anything that's happening. It always helps to be working on something that you're passionate about, and it doesn't feel like you're working at all, really.
Adrian then went on to talk about the want to be flexible within the media sector, trying to get good at a plethora of things such as radio, multimedia and journalism. Something which relates extremely well to myself now coming to the end of my degree is where to next. Luckily for Adrian, he had a connection which offered him a job at a small digital agency, and being a fresh media worker with a range of skills, he was successful at the job, and from there he has built his way to the top.
Tried a lot of things, radio, multimedia stuff as well, which I really enjoyed. Yep. And I got to the end of uni as well, and I thought I wasn't really sure again where I wanted to go, and it just so happened that a friend of mine started working at a small digital agency that helped out the NRL clubs, so propped up the sort of clubs that were under-resourced, didn't have in-house reporters and producers to update their digital platforms.
During our interview, he labelled the valuable lessons and teachings he has gained throughout his career so far. Being open to everything and adding each attribute along the way to a metaphorical kit bag.
Just being open to everything and saying yes to opportunities as they come up. Yeah. You might not think you think, oh, this might not help me out in the long run, but the way I look at it is along the way you're picking up different skill sets and you sort of add it to your kit bag, and you might not think you need those certain skills straight away, but down the line you might get into a job and something might pop up.
6 years after finishing his degree and after gaining experience of small digital agencies and NRL.com, Adrian found his way to the Australian and is currently undergoing a senior digital producer role. He works with the journalism team in collaboration with the social media team to maintain a fresh and updated digital platform. Yet it wasn't always perfect. Adrian referred back to a time where he fell asleep during a press conference with world-class NRL coach Wayne Bennett, and goes on to talk about how overwhelming work could be at times.
Rather embarrassingly, it was Wayne Bennett, I think he was at the Knights still, and we were massively overworked, and I was tired doing uni work and that sort of thing, and I almost nodded off I was sitting in the front row of the post-match presser and almost fell asleep. Yeah. And I sort of came to, and he was sort of looking at me. He didn't say anything, but that was fairly embarrassing. It is overwhelming, especially when you're starting out, and everyone goes through it. Yeah, you kind of got to take yourself away from being a fan, and just remember you're there to report on what's happening, ask the questions you need to ask, and come to put a decent story together.
Through interviewing Adrian, it's easy to see the wealth of knowledge he has obtained over his career. Not only is he incredibly knowledgeable, but he is a professional who has core values which he has maintained throughout his career. I would like to thank Adrian for the interview, and thank you guys for listening.